Selezione prima. So now we have the proof. Here. Okay, so let me keep this formula. Now, so without loss of generality, so proof. The theorem. So without loss of generality.
Nicola, did you start the next thing?
I hope so.
No.
Yes. Yes. Because of generality, we assume that all of the zeros and otherwise you have something a rational function. And now consider for Q is equal to n. This principal part at an. And consider its Taylor extension n Taylor extension at 0, that is something at 0 with degree. We will call it n, that n, which depends, of course, on point n. So what we have from the lemma is that when we consider Q of 1 minus of Z minus A, here A is equal to AN, and is equal to Q of delta plus a remainder. And the remainder Z n plus 1 times that function, let's call it Fn plus 1 of Z. And for this function, at n of Z, we have this representation. Let me write it again. Fn plus 1 of Z. Over this centered at the origin of Q W minus A over W n plus 1 times W minus Z divided. That's the lemma we have. And now we do an estimate. So consider C as the set of W's so that, and here maybe I need to draw a picture because we will have, okay. So this is 0. Then we have somewhere over here we have B, but then we consider P over 2, A over 2. And then we consider A over 4. And finally, the point Z will be inside there. So let's say that when we do the circle is this one. So W belongs to there. Over 2. And this estimate, of course, holds for what's that? Over 2. These are formula that although we pick it there. Okay. Now, last thing, we pick the maximum of Q, and which depends on N, is the maximum of Q1 W minus A on the circle.
Sorry, what is B?
That's A. B is equal to A. Because on my notes I have B, and on Blackboard I have an A.
Okay.
Over 2. So we pick the maximum over that. Right. So, and the so by 1 and 2, that implies that when we take this minus that is 4. That's that. So we put 8 over 4, which is inside is a smaller this there. We have the Q of 1 8 minus the 10 Q plus or equal. Then okay, we get 1% and 1 because it's there, and then we get an estimate for that, which is okay, we get pi, we get 2 pi, the length of the circle, and 2, and then we get the denominator, which is 1 over mod A over 2, which is 2 over to the power n plus 1 for this factor here, and for this factor here we get I guess 4 because the distance between Z and W is at least mod A over 4. And after you cancel things, this is and after you cancel things, you get 2m. Anyhow, some constant times m times 2 instead of A and plus 1. If here instead of 2 there is 100, that doesn't really matter. Right. So now we
I cannot read the estimate really well.
you cannot read this one.
It's not the video is not so clear, so I cannot read everything.
Unfortunately, I'm afraid it's a problem with your connection because as it is here, is this only a problem of Davide or is it a problem?
Maybe at the end you can send us the notes. Your notes,
I will send you the notes for sure.
because sometimes it's not easy to understand the
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, we also send them right away. Okay, so we have this thing over there.
No, I think it's a problem of the blackboard, which is not so black. And then
Okay. Yeah, it's a whitish blackboard. But it's sent you the notes. I'm just copying from the notes.
Thanks.
Now, what we want to make, so we want to choose. Okay, here the only things we are free to choose are this capital N, because everything else is given by the data. Okay. So the only but everything else is given in the data. And what we want to do, it is the sum of these remainder terms. We want the sum of these remainder terms to be smaller. So what we want, it is that for all r bigger than 0, assuming that mod z is equal than r, sum of 2n times 2r over mod an power n plus 1 is fine. And this we can do because to make it converge. Okay, so this is a power series with respect to R. So what we want to do, really, I mean, that's power series. The R, and to convert it everywhere, we want to make the radius of convergence infinity, and the radius of convergence is the modulus of an over 2 over 2, but 2 that disappears over and n to the power 1 over 1. I want that to be infinity. Maybe I forgot to do it. Oh, well, to have that with the 4. And you see, since this goes to infinity, no matter how this grows, I can take a power large enough to make it as close to 1 as I want. So it's Um, where and large. And now we only have pretty much to put together the pieces we have. We put together the pieces we have. Consider that the things are differential. Consider sum of these remainder terms, Qn1 minus z minus an and z. And consider these are just for all of the n, so that the modules of n over 4 bigger than r, so from some a n. So this a n goes to infinity from n and on. Okay. And these are okay, this is the sum of the remainders, and that converges to a function which is homomorphic function homomorphic.
Nicola, what is written in the first line?
Putting pieces together.
Okay, thanks.
So we put the pieces we have done so far together. This converges absolutely and uniformly. To a function which is a homomorphic for mod of z less or equal than r. Okay. Because for mod z less or equal than r and r less or equal than t, so we are in this region here where we have the estimate, and here we have the sum of all possible estimates. Okay. Right. So, but if this converges to a function, this is homomorphic to mod z less or equal than r, and I add the first few things, that is a function. I add the terms right for the other n's. That well, that's a finite sum. This is a meromorphic. And we call it in such a n with the direct principal words. Right. Now, Meromorphic still everywhere, but in particular. So this says that if I consider sum without any restriction, the sum of these two guys of n one that converges uniformly on that on text of e minus force cosine. F. And that's
Do you have to exclude the false in order for uniform?
Hmm?
Do you have to exclude the false to have uniform convergence? Because the principal parts are, if you do the
on
different,
the compact subset.
yeah, but I'm saying, do you really?
Oh, I didn't.
Maybe you have on compact to C, because when you're doing the difference, the principal parts are fixed.
So when I use the difference between that and the finite one,
When you do, yeah, the
yeah, I
difference,
think you're right. Yeah. Because it's right. Yeah, when I do the difference between this and a partial sum, which is this, what I get is a small uniformly for one sector, so with an R. And that's the end. So let's go to find Q Z, which is G. Sorry, G. So G is has the right principal parts. So if I consider okay, I found a function with the right principal parts. And moreover, and has those principal parts. Then X minus G globally homomorphic, so I can get plus H of Z homomorphic Z. Okay, and now pretty much we are at the end because we are at the end because as a corollary of these two theorems, we get interpolation for the type functions. And so the theorem is that given a sequence AN C with AN is infinity, and given any sequence of target value T, there exists a homomorphic function taking those values, those properties. And the proof is to write this point because I'll start so for the proof. One, by Weierstrass, I know that there exists a function G, which is a homomorphic, and vanishing both parts. Now I want to make let me say, by Mittag-Leffler, I know that there exists a function h h which is meromorphic B, and so that near this point the principal part, let's say h of z is equal to then I want to take the target value times over z minus an. These are simple zeros. Simple zeros, it means that 0 z over z minus n equals 0.1. And now I want to guess some prime of the n to correct things for plus counting from 1. So I want to function to have these things properties. And then I think you take the function f to be the product. G of z.
Sorry, what's written in the last line?
Here, plus a homomorphic function of z. And this is 1 over g prime an. Right. And then I define f of z to be the product of these things. G of z is z. Then, of course, it's a homomorphic. Well, it is when I consider the limit and with respect to an of f of z, what I get is the limit and that an over what is g of z over z minus n, because that's h, 1 over g prime n, and that's the end of it. Oh, and there was a lambda n. Lambda n. Because f Um, right, because the G has a 0 at the end, so this part cancels out. And the limit of this thing is the derivative, so that's like G of Z minus G of N, same. So that's like the prime of N over prime of N. Okay. Now, all of the reasoning the past 2 days was rather qualitative, was never really quantitative. The only quantitative remark was that the sub point n squared was to be known. That's and there is when we saw Shannon theorem, that was a bit more quantitative because on the targets we had the targets were little as true, and the interpolating function, which is entirely improved through that, it is a function. Well, it's an decayed linear space. It's an entire function having some decay. So between this very general theorem of the late 1800s and the Shannon theorem, you can base all possible the vast array of results and open problems. Let me just make a remark, which is a remark in the structure is something I do not really know. It is this one. So this function over there so that's a remark. So the function h, this function h depends on the sequence lambda n. So why the function g, the one having zeros, we can depends on the sequence of the points. But the function h depends on the garbage values. So h from depends on the targets lambda n. In let me explain this. So, because with polynomials and also with the polynomials and with the Shannon theorem, we saw that basically if you could interpolate 1 and zeros, everything was done, pretty much, both cases. So in this case, consider a n, data, and then construct functions fn, functions fn entire using here, so that fn of an is 0 or 1 depending. So Okay. Now, a candidate. For solving. And this we can do in many ways, right? That's here. A candidate for solving the problem n, equal to lambda n, given by this procedure we have here, which is, by the way, everything here is very constructive. We are in years for the excellent result. So, I make sum of lambda n, that's n. 1, 2. Okay, if I have finite many points, that's perfectly kosher. But what if the points are infinitely many? Does it converge? Okay. Converge. So my guess, but really I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know. If I can find functions so that not even for a given sequence like the n is equal to n, if I can find functions so that f converges for all and my guess thanks that not possible that no matter how I make these functions here, I can find the sequence lambda n which grows fast enough to make this series divergent. But I don't know how to prove it. So yesterday I wrote at the beginning of a proof from Catalan and the beginning of the proof showing the contrary and the opposite statement. And that's about it. And the problem is most of the problem is in the Mittag-Leffler part, but maybe even in the Mittag-Leffler, but also in the variance, because we have a bunch of freedom. We want to find the functions with these kind of principal parts. There are many of them.
If you take a point where none of the Fn matters, there exists a point where with not none of them matters, just because it is uncountable many points.
Yeah.
And then you take lambda n. So that I don't know, take lambda n to be 1 over f n. 1 over what's that? I guess you so that it and then the sum will diverge at this point. So there must
Okay, I think the point where one of them vanish, yes. So I think so it's zero. So that for and zero and 1 over and then if there is an interpolation function, then yes. It does.
Sorry, Nicola, what is written in the last line? M greater.
Hmm?
In the last line, oh, it doesn't exist, what?
Oh, here.
Before
doesn't exist.
N,
So my guess was that there were, it was not possible to find Fn,
mhm.
so that you can linearly interpolate any sequence using this Fn's.
Mm.
Yes. But that gives also a counterexample in functional analysis.
The selection theory.
Yeah. Because that is okay by so this is because one could thinking of a hyperspace, one could think that if I have an one for a shape space and I have a map X R which is bounded continuous and on then T then there is T from white to black linear so that T of R is the range. That's true for the first place. Actually, next time we teach functional analysis. Okay. Right. Although once I fix Fn, the sequence is lambda n for which this interpolation scheme works is a linear space. So I can define a class of vector functions somehow indirectly for which the interpolation scheme works. But no linear scheme works for all entire functions, for all entire functions, for all targets. Okay, have a nice weekend. Means that we meet on Tuesday.